welcome to an episode of Age of Geek, the podcast. I'm Marley, and we have fellow members here, Colin.
Hello.
And Robert.
Hello.
And we have a guest here with us, but they're also a part of Age of Geek Media. We have Ty.
Hi.
Yay, Ty.
So Ty, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the podcast and other things that you do?
So I am from one of the sister podcasts called Multiplane Podcast, where we talk about everything Disney, whether it be film, books, the parks, if it's Disney, you name it, we talk about it. I'm a big movie lover. Worked a little bit in the special effects makeup industry, a little bit. I have a really large knowledge of stupid stuff, especially when it comes to comic books and just random stuff like that.
Awesome. I love it. He fits right in. And if anything, it is a pleasure for you to be here with us, especially to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Is that the correct title of the movie? I feel like it's way too long. It's too long of a title.
I don't know. There wasn't a ton of Wasp, so
Yeah.
felt a lot
Ant-Man
more
and the
like an Ant-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have just been Ant-Man and Friends.
Ant-Man and Friends. And daughter.
Oh, yeah, and daughter.
Yeah, no, this movie. So yeah, it came out like a week ago? 2 weeks ago? I don't know what time is anymore.
A week ago.
But it was something. I don't really know what exactly I want to talk about tonight with you guys, but I just feel like we just need to just dive in and just let's just talk about the movie, because there is a lot that happened in it, but there's also a lot that didn't happen in it. So yeah, what's kind of our overall impression? I feel like everyone I've talked to has either hated it or they're just kind of like, eh. I don't know anyone that's liked it.
Kind of, I was like, I think that when we did a kind of like a right after the movie thing, I was like B plus. I think it's still B plus. It didn't wow me, but I didn't hate it.
In my opinion, it's my favorite out of the 3 Ant-Man films. So,
I would agree with that, but I feel like there's a very low bar for Ant-Man versus the rest of the MCU universe.
yeah.
And so, did it hit all the action? Yeah, sure. Did it hit that there were characters in the film? Yeah.
There were people in it. This is great.
I don't know. It's just, there were times where I was just like, wait, is this a Star Wars movie? What?
Yes.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
No, I got those same vibes.
We got kind of that Cantina vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was where Kane had his army and they were on the platform, just line by line by line, and then you have these ships coming in to start loading them up, and I felt like that was Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, it was almost like his clone army.
Yeah.
We're talking Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought we were talking about Tron Legacy.
Right? Uh-huh. And then
or
all
Spy
of a
Kids
sudden,
3.
You've got the rush of all the sub characters, and it's like, wait, is this Rise of the Skywalker? And you've got Finn and his crew running across the ship, storming the castle.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys play the Guardians of the Galaxy video game that came out recently?
Mm-mm.
So it's obviously not in the quantum realm, but it's on other planets and whatnot. But there were a lot of planets that had just overgrown, flora and fauna and rocks and whatnot, and very colorful, random creatures and things. And it actually, Quantumania actually reminded me a lot of the landscape from that game too. But then also, so back to other as it compares to other Marvel movies, do you guys agree that this movie fits in the same score of Rotten Tomatoes as Eternals did? Because that's what they're saying.
No
you don't
way.
think it was as bad as
No
Eternals?
way.
No, nothing can be as bad as Eternals. What?
Eternals
Whoa!
too. I liked it.
Wow.
Uh,
I guess we're just going to have to agree to disagree here.
Sorry. I was going back to. I forgot about the Eternals movie for a minute. I was thinking the TV series that came out. Wasn't that called the Eternals?
No, that
too?
was
No.
You're
Inhumans.
thinking Inhumans.
Oh, Inhumans. I was thinking
Oh,
Inhumans.
yeah, no, we're not
Sorry.
talking about. I've not even seen that.
It's okay. Most people haven't seen it either.
But no, the Eternals. No, I did actually like that movie for the most part. I mean, yeah, there were some weird things about it, and I still don't like how they haven't tied Eternals into the rest of the MCU, like hardly at all. Like there was one tiny, tiny little Easter egg, I guess if you want to call it that, in She-Hulk,
Mhm.
and that was it. It could have easily been missed if somebody wasn't totally paying attention. But yeah, as far as like, yeah, Rotten Tomatoes scores, people are, yeah, it's right down there with Eternals. And yeah, I don't know if I totally agree with that either.
I think that for me, one thing that I've noticed is this movie has a very strange parallel to another Avengers character standalone movies, but in kind of what I'd consider reverse. Ant-Man was Marvel's first foray into comedy or more humorous movies, more so than just a movie that had some funny bits in it. And so you had, Ant-Man, which they played up for the humor. Some of it situational, some of it just funny bits.
Well, and it's Paul Rudd.
And it's Paul Rudd. Same thing with Ant-Man and the Wasp. But this one, they flipped it a bit, and it went to a serious movie with funny bits in it. And the parallel that I saw was Thor. Thor started off as a very Shakespearean style drama, the first movie. The second movie held kind of the same, and both of those had funny bits in them, but weren't so much comedy or comedic movies. And then you get Thor Ragnarok, and they go right out the window with the drama and go straight for we're playing this more for laughs, and we're kind of playing up the humorous side of Thor. So for me, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and the Thor now quadrilogy, I guess, um, kind of took their initial starts and then flipped them both genre-wise, going from, you know, comedy and more comedic to serious, and where Thor went serious to more comedic. So for me, I think that's one thing, and I think that broke a lot of people's head canons for Ant-Man because they expected it's Paul Rudd, it's going to be a funny movie, and it's like, no, I'm a dad in this movie. I finally get a chance to be a dad for the entire movie, and this is concerning my kid, and he's playing it seriously, and I think that everybody's like, where's the funny?
Yeah, I could totally see that. I mean, at the same time though, like as I've been talking about this movie to friends and whoever that have seen it, especially outside of our little Age of Geek community, but I tell them, I'm like, I liked two things about this movie. I liked Paul Rudd and his humor because I find his humor delightful, and also Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan Majors playing Kang, was phenomenal.
He
and
made
like,
this movie.
yeah, and like
100%.
everything else, I'm like, it was okay. Like it was entertainment, but it was also just like, it just felt like, I don't know. There were some times where I was a little bored too. I almost fell asleep.
Wow.
I don't do that in movies.
I didn't get nowhere near falling asleep. I just thought that there was a little bit of lack of personal growth with Scott Lang. The whole time you have Cassie kind of hammering this, oh, you're just a one-time hero, right? And constantly saying, what cool, you saved the world, and you keep saying that, but when are you going to realize that you're still a hero, that you can still make a difference? And throughout the film, he had several time after time that he could have stepped in and intervened and tried to help more, but he was off more so just like focusing on protecting his daughter, right? Which is totally fine. That's totally fair. But he could also do things while being in between that mix, right?
Well,
But a lot of it came off as not really caring about anyone else or anything else in the film, and that carries through to the very end, where he's only getting involved in this big, huge battle because his daughter was taken. He's trying to find his daughter and trying to get her back, right?
Well, and even before she was taken, though, like, I think he didn't trust Cassie to be able to handle herself because he was not capable. I feel like he wasn't capable of being that hero and being like out there and extra because he was too worried about protecting his daughter. Yet he doesn't realize that, like, while he was gone, while he was blipped, she grew up. She had to learn how to take care of herself
and went through massive facial surgery.
Seriously, she changed a lot. But even
Puberty, go figure.
Yeah, even he didn't have he didn't know that she had like her own suit. Or no, I think they hinted at it before they jumped into the quantum realm, didn't they?
Mm-mm.
I swear something like anyways,
Oh
but
no,
yeah,
no, you're right. They did. They were in the
they
car
hinted,
talking about it,
and then
but they just kind of shoved it off to the side.
But then we, the audience too, didn't know that she had it on or she had the mechanisms to turn it on or put it on or whatever until that moment in the quantum realm when they were in need of it. And so I think, like, even still, like, Scott was having a hard time, like, realizing that, like, she is capable and that she needs to figure stuff out too on her own and everything. So he was too busy being dad. Not that that's a bad thing, but he was also like he was distracted. I think.
Well, I mean, it's hard to see your little girl grow up when you're not there to watch her grow up for 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden have to realize that she's done her own thing, she's lived her own life, and she's doing things now that you know nothing about.
Here's the thing with this too, Cassie. We're getting into this new phase where we're bringing in the young Avengers, right? Who I think are going to play huge effort in, the war effort against King. They're going to play a huge part. They haven't really set up too much of that yet. I mean, if you look at a lot of our projects that we've gone through, you have Hawkeye with training his new prodigy. Yeah, training Kate. We have just these Miss Marvel, these new younger kids who are going to be taking up the mantle of the young Avengers, who's going to play a major part against Kang. A lot of this movie shows Cassie's growth versus Scott's. I think it's like foreshadowing too that a lot of these characters are going to be retired. I mean, Scott already wants to retire. He wants to, be done, spend his time with his family.
He already wrote a book. He's done.
Yeah. So it's a lot of foreshadowing of, hey, these younger heroes are really ready to step up and come into this game.
So I have a question for the group. Just to take a slightly different tack at looking at Scott, is seeing where Scott is and the lack of growth that Colin mentioned. Is it not so much that he's had a lack of growth, but he's plateaued because he saved the world? I mean, that's a pretty high bar. I saved the world. I've written a book. I've done it, and I think that's more for me. That was more what I was seeing from Scott, was the lack of concern, because it's like, I've done all the things. What more's there for me to do? As opposed to Cassie's pointing out, well, there's still a world. There's still people that need help. Be the hero that you already have. Continue being the hero that you already have been.
Well, you brought help brought back half of the universe.
Again, pretty high bar.
High bar, but now again with this movie, there's the realization there are more universes. There are more of the expansion, so it's time to step up.
Yeah, and I think part of the issue is that he doesn't really have like the group to necessarily lean on right now, right? Because everyone's kind of off in their own areas. You no longer have, Tony Stark.
For now.
Exactly. Yep. For now. I think it's coming too.
Oh, I'm telling you, by Ironheart, guys. Mark my words. By Ironheart, we will have Robert Downey Jr. back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Along with Mephisto. Robert, you laugh. It's
Right
confirmed.
now,
It is
it's
confirmed.
confirmed by Ty.
No. It's confirmed.
Oh my
Where,
gosh.
where did it get confirmed?
Comicbook.com.
What's his name? No, absolutely not comicbook.com. Coheed Baron is going to be the villain of Ironheart. And I don't know why, because he needs to be over here with, Moon Knight and all my Midnight Suns. But for some reason, he's coming in Ironheart. I'm telling you right now. And we're going to get Iron Man back in his AI projection form. Guaranteed.
We will see. I have doubts. I'll just leave it there. I'll just leave
We
it
have
there.
little
Oh
faith.
goodness.
But yeah, I just think they don't really have the community that they once had, and so it's hard to lean on anyone until an event comes up, right?
Mm.
And there hasn't really been that huge stage event to even warrant bringing anyone back at this point.
Well,
Did you
and we
not see the
don't.
sky change? Like all that did
I
in
know.
Moon Knight? That's not an event. A giant hand coming out of the ocean? That's not an event. Oh, sorry.
I know.
Forgive me.
Apparently not. Apparently not. I mean, we haven't gotten our team up movie yet. Which one is our next team up movie? Is that going to be Secret Invasion? Is that the next one?
Well, I mean, technically, it's the Marvels.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's the small team up before you
I
get
guess.
the
Yeah,
big one.
our pre-team up, pre-teen. They're not
And
pre-teens. Well,
who
with
knows what'll come of the Loki season?
Oh my gosh. Okay, if anything, after seeing this movie, okay, we're gonna shift to this, and here's my man right here. He's right here, you guys, right behind me. If anything, this movie made me this much more excited about Loki season 2. I mean, I was already way up here, but I am like, woo, because the Loki TV series is hands down my favorite. And I was really like, as we saw other movies and TV shows, especially like Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness and other ones that continued after that, it's like, why are we not getting any sort of like talk or cameos or even end credit scenes that have to do with like other multiverse stuff? And so we finally get that, and it's like, why did it take this long?
Well, because now we're in phase 5.
Oh.
And Kang.
Ugh. But like, yeah, so now we finally get King the Conqueror. And I know a lot of criticism about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania too is that they feel like, and I want to hear what you guys think too, is a lot of people feel like King the Conqueror, at least this iteration of him, was not the best villain for this movie. Like they should have saved him for something else.
He didn't feel like an Ant-Man villain?
No.
No, but he was in the quantum realm. He was tiny.
Yes, as far as location goes, I guess that works.
I mean,
proximity.
Yeah, I think that again, he may not have been the. I think that the decision to use him in the quantum realm as opposed to just bringing him through time at some point was a choice. I don't know if they're also going to use this to lean into a couple of other characters, because I believe Janet or Hank referenced Subatomica when they were traveling to find everybody, to get the family back together. And Subatomica, for people of a certain age, was one of the settings for a series in the mid to late 70s called the Micronauts. And it also introduced a villain that they also could have used here probably a little better, Psycho Man, who was a Micronauts villain who engaged the Fantastic Four a lot. So I'm not sure if this is something they're using as a stepping stone, and Kang just happened to be there because he got trapped by the other Council of Kangs there, or what. But I'm not sure that Kang was best overall choice, but he's the villain we got, and I appreciate that they're showing us that he's going to be the through line that Thanos was for the Phase 1 movies.
I thought he was this is just me saying, I thought he was the good villain for this because, and a lot of people were saying, oh, well, this wasn't really an Ant-Man film. This was a different kind of multiverse film with Ant-Man sprinkled in there.
Yeah.
But which it was okay for me for that, because this is setting the first step into what's going to happen within the next 5, 6, 7 years of this conflict. So for me, again, we had that little taste of it in Loki, and we got He Who Remains, who is a completely different Kang. And he talks about all these different variants. It's good that we finally got to see a little bit more malicious one than what he was. And again, I thought it was okay just because this is just something that's setting up for what's to come.
Oh yeah. No, I'm totally on that board as well. When I read that online, what other people were saying, I'm like, yeah, maybe I can see like people's point, but at the same time, like if you didn't watch that mid-credit scene with all the Council of Kangs, then then you wouldn't really like understand that like that Kang we saw in Ant-Man was like nothing compared to the ones that are to come. Like they were a lot more, like you didn't even see them really do anything, and you could just feel how much more powerful and sinister they were.
You can ask Robert. I squealed. I legitimately
did. He did. I was like, oh, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, he was sitting right next to me, and soon as who comes on screen first? Was it Rama
It was
Tut?
Rama Tut.
As soon as we had seen Rama Tut, I let out a big old like just the entire theater was probably.
I was like, where did Ty go?
But
he obviously went to his happy place because he was just like glued at that point.
That one credit scene was worth the entire time sitting down and watching this movie.
Yeah. I personally, I don't know that much about all the different variants of Kang, but like just seeing them all there and just like getting excited about what's to come and the possibilities, it hypes me up too, because again, like this is the beginning of phase 5. We need something to build on. We need something to go and to last us and to maybe keep people's interest, because we all know that there's a lot of people who are feeling that Marvel burnout.
Well, Marvel hammered a bunch of really heavy things in the last 1, 2, 3, 4 movies at least, because phase 4 was their trauma and grief phase coming out of the blip. And I mean, actually for the past 2.5, 3 years, going from WandaVision all the way through Wakanda Forever, they didn't really let up on the things are bad for some people, for a lot of people, and here's why. I mean, they spent 2 solid years kind of beating you down with a little bit of an uptick maybe for Shang-Chi, but other than that, they were kind of heavy and dark movies.
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully, with phase 5, we get a little more cheer, a little more hope.
A little more hope.
Not Van Dyne, or Pym, excuse me. But having come out of the darkness, so to speak, I'm looking forward to seeing something, even though we know that some version of Kang or some versions of Kang are waiting in the wings, and the last 4 Kangs that we saw in the end credits and in the mid credits were just like, oh, well, it's about to get really intense. It's going to get really heavy, and I'm hoping to see them more proactive. Any one of them more proactive than Thanos was in the first phases of the Marvel Universe.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I do have to point out, just like super quick, I really love how you guys saw the movie together. You saw it at the same time. Me and Colin saw it at the same time. So this like works out perfect. Anyways, go ahead, Ty.
I was just going to say, like Robert said, with stuff coming forward, instantly, as soon as we saw Rama Tut, I'm like, okay, there is your Fantastic Four big bad. You guys wanted the Fantastic Four to come in with a bang. That is how we are doing it.
Really? Is he a huge part of it? I don't know. I don't know anything
we'll
about
just leave it at yes for now. We could talk about it off the air, not to spoil it for a bunch of people. But yes.
Like, and this isn't going to be a current. This is going to be like a Miss Marvel travel to the past kind of thing. They're going to battle it out in the past
The Fantastic Four?
with
Hopefully.
Rama-Tut. Yes.
If they stick to canon,
Yeah.
yes.
If they stick to canon, which we know Marvel, they take bits and pieces from different things here and there, and they typically make it into something fun. Rama-Tut is a big bad that faces the Fantastic Four in ancient Egypt. Rama-Tut's a version of Kang that travels back to Egypt just to conquer and rule it. Fantastic Four come into play, and they want to fight him on that turf and in that plane of time. It's a really cool, and that's if you guys have noticed our new TikTok that Multiplane just put up. I actually give you guys the full shot of the book that you can go read and find that storyline.
I love that. That reminds me a lot of Black Adam, actually. Like that whole like setting. I don't know. Obviously totally different universe and everything, but that's what that just reminded me of.
Oh, everything's going to be about time now.
Well, yeah.
And I'm excited to see Shang-Chi too. Does anybody have the title off the top of their head? Because they released the title.
I did not know
Oh, I
that.
didn't
Did
even
they?
see it yet.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Ty, do you know something we don't?
Yeah, I've got all the insides at Disney. Me and Kevin Feige are
Kang
like,
Dynasty.
Wait, what?
No, King
King
Dynasty is
Dynasty?
the overarching
Avengers story.
Avengers thing.
Wreckage of Time.
Wreckage of Time. See?
There it is.
That's what I'm telling you guys.
Oh.
Everything is about time. And that's the 10 rings. And I've talked a little bit about this too. The 10 rings are an artifact of the first time. Sorry, I'm getting all choked up.
He's getting verklempt.
They are an artifact of the first time war that we learn about in Loki.
Oh yeah.
Because He Who Remains said that there was a great war amongst all the kings. The 10 rings, because as he said, how long did your dad have these before he gave them to you? He's like, 1,000 years. So who knows how long they have actually been there. Just because they're old in the sense of how long they've been on Earth does not mean they could be 40. Well, they could. They are 40th century tech, or what was it, 32nd century? 32nd century tech that is a relic from the First Time War. Same with Miss Marvel's bangle, which we're missing another one. And if you look at, she literally used it to travel back in time. So everything going forth that's part of this main story now will deal with time, except Secret Invasion, which will be more Earthbound, current. And I talk about it on Multiplane. We have 3 different things. We have Galactic, Earthbound, and like Underworld kind of stuff going on.
Well, and like, tell me if I'm wrong, but like, because again, I don't know that much about all the different kings, but like, what just kind of based off of like what we learn about in the Loki TV series with like the multiverse and the branches of time and everything. So it's pretty safe to assume that like all these different kings know how to manipulate that, like they know how to travel through time, and that's how they like found each other.
Yes.
Essentially. And they're like, oh, hey, some of us are friends, but also some of us were not going to be friends. And they like went through time and found all their variants. Is that essentially like what happened?
Here's the thing, guys. We met one. A lot of people don't know that we met our first Kang in Iron Man 2.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
The kid that he finds.
In Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2. I'm pretty sure it's Iron Man 2. Yeah, he gets lost. His suit's pretty much damaged.
Oh, that's 3, isn't it?
Oh,
Is
no,
it
that's
3?
3. Yeah.
Okay, 3. Sorry, Iron Man 3. My bad.
What's his name?
Harley Keener.
Harley. Yes. I should know that rhymes with my name, Marley.
So,
what about
that kid is foreshadowed to be, not foreshadowed, he's going to be Iron Lad, right? That's basically what. And Iron Lad is a future.
Is a
this is weird explaining. It's Iron Lad is a version of Kang. So when he's younger, he becomes a young Avenger. And older Kang comes and finds him, says, hey, you know what? This is your destiny to become me. So this is basically how you turn out. You're going to just come with me. But then Iron Lad trains the rest of the young Avengers on how to defeat his future self. And so, like I said, there was a reason he popped up at Tony's funeral too.
Yeah.
Because they're not done with him.
No. And then he even shows up in the Anaheim attraction Web Slingers. He's one of the bios that you see in the queue saying he's still studying with, Stark Technologies and other things. So he's going to be Iron Lad, which I don't think we're done. I think we're going to get Old King coming to him saying, hey, this is your future. And we're going to play on that storyline of him coming in.
And I'll use that as a perfect spot to segue into, if you haven't read Young Avengers, especially the first run by Alan Heinberg and Jamie McKelvey, pick it up at your local comic shop or order it online, read it. Great stuff.
And then it was interesting that in that post-credit scene, we had the 3 different Kangs. For the first two, me and Robert nailed it. We're like, okay, Ramatut, easy. Immortus, easy. But then we're looking at this third one, and we're like, okay, who could this one be? Like, because he's not portrayed as the character who we think he's going to play. But then if you look at the 2020 run called Kang the Conqueror, Only Myself Left to Conquer. Again, I threw that one up. You guys can find that image. You have the King who we appeared to see that was the villain, but then the 3 other images are of other Kangs, all the same 3 from the post-credit scene. So we have the Scarlet Centurion, Immortus, Ramatut. I think they're going to be pulling a lot of stuff from that one, hopefully, too. And it's interesting because Kevin Feige actually had a lot of say and pull at Marvel Comics with this one that just released in 2020.
Today I learned.
That's a mouthful. Sorry, guys.
No,
you're good. You're good. I love learning about all this stuff because, like, I feel like I'm just like a comic book fan adjacent. I've only read like very few comic books, but like I love like hearing about like all the like stuff that is going on. Like I like, especially during like Marvel like phases 1, 2, and 3, like anytime after a movie, I would like turn to my friends who I know have like read the comics, and I'm like, what did that end credit scene mean, or whatever? Like, what do we think is gonna happen next? So like I love like talking to people about this kind of thing. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be really fun over phase 5 and beyond, because I don't know how long it's gonna all this King dynasty is gonna last, but I think it's gonna be really fun to see where he pops up and which variant will pop up.
I'm really looking forward to the variant that shows up in Creed, to be perfectly honest.
Oh.
I'm totally looking forward to that one.
No.
I'm just really hoping that we get to see Veb in his new holes.
How many holes do you have, Colin?
Oh, Veb,
Wouldn't
that
you
one.
like to know?
That was so awkward, but also really funny.
The whole time it's like
Did you drink the
people
goo?
with their like feet weird fetish. Like this guy's got like a weird hole fetish.
But he didn't have any, so it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
It's
want
a
to
novelty to him.
experience what a hole. I can't.
I'm excited
goodness.
because Marley, you said you're a huge Loki fan. I'm excited for season 2, especially with this version of Kang.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Timely, that's his name in this one before he becomes Kang.
When at the very end with King and
with like
Mobius and
the
Loki.
yeah.
So he is the prime King. From
Why?
him. So Victor Timely is the prime King, and from him and his discovery of manipulating time is how all the other branches begin to open up. So based on his decisions,
so of course they're gonna go and try and find him first.
Mhm.
The TVA, I mean.
Yeah.
When I say they.
So from him, all other kings branch.
Interesting.
And had our king that was trapped in the quantum realm, had he made it out, I think we would have just ended up back where season 1 Loki was at, where he kills all the other branches and he makes the sacred timeline. And honestly, I think we would have been better. Did Scott really do the right thing here? Or
That's a
would we
really
have
good
just
question.
gone back to that one sacred timeline?
Well, it's interesting. They also made it kind of meta in the movie, going, "Is that the right thing? Is something worse coming?" So I think that it was really neat that they played with that in universe, is going, "Did I do the right thing or not?"
Hear me out. What if by the end of all this, the next few phases, because the way they explain it, and I'm going to get a whiteboard and I'm going to put this on our page. You're going to have to look at this. Time goes in a constant loop, right? What if after this multiversal war and all these events, they learn that, okay, we really have to let one king keep all the others at bay and out of existence. And now we have to let him keep that sacred timeline again. And we just come back full circle to where the MCU began. It's going to be a giant looper.
History is repeating itself. Is that
Interesting.
where
This has all happened, guys.
That, or it was all just a dream.
Oh my gosh. No, they're all girl. Everybody's in disguise. It is truly the secret invasion.
So I'm curious how you guys felt about the end battle with King and Scott, and you know, the portal closes, right? Can't get in now. They finally defeat Kang, and you've got Wasp and Ant-Man just sitting there looking over, and then all of a sudden the portal just opens. Do you
It's
guys
too
feel like
easy.
that was too easy? Like almost like a cop-out? Like, should they have been stuck in the realm a little longer? Because to me, it felt like they were just turning on and off the computer again.
So
Just need to reboot it.
my question throughout the entire movie is, if they lost Janet however many 30 years ago because she shrank too much, you've got Pym particles that go the other way, right? Grow. I mean, I realize it's an oversimplification, but it seems like your suit goes both ways, right? Just, push the other trigger.
But
A
then
lot.
To get out of the quantum
grow.
realm?
To
Is
grow.
that what
do
you
you
mean?
like
bigger.
crush the rest of the world underneath you?
Would you though?
Eggs, omelets.
I don't know. It's either that or you're like pushing it out of the way potentially, because everywhere that you look, it's pretty much just like floating land. It's except for like rock bottom.
But here's the thing. Think about it. Like you hit shrink. The quantum realm was sitting right here. Like it's literally,
It's there. Yeah.
it's floating in the air right
Yeah.
here. What's this? Like Rob says, what's to stop you from going, okay, go big and then you're huge again right there. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's a gross oversimplification, but I just thought that was one of the things that was kind of like, everybody has the Pym particles, and just be done. But it would have been a
Right.
very short movie
But-
if they'd done that.
Is it at the point where, so Scott went in and he lost 5 hours his time, 5 years our time.
Mhm.
The reason they needed to get out using the tech that they did,
Was for the time
so
dilation.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it didn't mess with time. So it's not like, oh my gosh, we've been gone for 20 years.
Yeah.
Kind of like
That's
how we were
true.
talking. We think that's how the Fantastic
Mhm.
Four is going to get handled.
Please, oh please, oh please.
Me and Robert could binge on this. Like we have this
We have a
huge
theory.
constructive theory, but they needed to use that certain method to get home. So it's they can say, okay, it's like we literally left a few minutes ago from when Kang pulled us in.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it almost seems like to me, at least like, especially at the beginning of the movie, I mean, it was very brief, but we have Hank and we have Cassie, and they're kind of working together on quantum realm stuff. And they're both very smart. Like obviously like Cassie is very smart too. She's got a lot of knowledge about this stuff and she's been learning from, you know, some of the greats, but like I almost like to think too that like the reason why they had that portal open again so quickly to get Scott and Hope back was almost like they maybe had something already in place. Because I mean they were already like had like that communication going, but they just knew that maybe they just knew they didn't want to go into the quantum realm just because of again how dangerous it is and risky, and so they didn't want to actually go in. They just wanted to study it from you know, normal world. And
Did
then
they, though?
I don't know,
'Cause look at
because
the-
they had that gate really up quite quickly.
Well, look at the end of Infinity War. They were more than happy to send Scott in to collect particles for Ghost.
Yeah, I guess that's
So
true.
they've apparently got
Hmm.
more than one generator or portal generator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like Hank
Well,
couldn't
and
go,
it was
I've built this before.
well,
Yeah.
and it was like identical though. Like if I don't know, I guess the thing too that doesn't quite make sense is if they had their own version of a portal generator, wouldn't it like look a little different, like as you know what I mean, than the way that got them in to go back? Because usually
Well,
when it's different tech, there's different colors and
I
different.
think at that point they reverse
know.
engineered it slightly.
But how?
Well, because right now
Did it go
all
in with them when they went through the technology?
the tech? No.
Yeah. So how did they reverse engineer it?
Or did they even have to? If it didn't go through, it would have been there.
Or they just brought some of those ants back with them that are now like
Super
super
smart.
Oh, yeah.
geniuses.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Probably
that was
whipped it
pretty
back
great.
up in 2 seconds.
It's okay. MODOK
Yeah.
would have just saved the day.
Okay, so we're going to
are
address
we
the
gonna-
elephant in the room.
Ah,
Are we
yes.
gonna talk
So-
about this?
We are.
Guys,
You mean Darren?
It's never too late to not be a dick.
It's never too
Never
late.
too late. However, it is always a good time to go back and redo your CGI if it looks not great.
awful.
Yeah.
Guys, this is so. I gave
Bad.
this movie a. I'm gonna go with a B- for me. It could have gotten a better grade had MODOK not been pulling me out of everything else that was trying to put me into this movie.
So if they'd left the faceplate on, would that have been an okay MODOK
Yeah.
for you? Okay.
Yeah, the hell with it. Like put the faceplate the entire time. But no, show your. Can you show that action figure again? Since we're doing visuals here. As a makeup artist, guys, look. That is all you had to do. Was make him a little more grotesque, add some wrinkles, some bad features, white out the eyes. It was not that hard.
No, they just
Instead-
made it incredibly difficult.
I'm stuck
sad.
watching George Lopez from Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
There's an image floating around on movies that make us right now where someone put Tracy's face
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
instead of MODOK's.
Or
And
you give us
It
give
looks
us
just as good as the movie.
give us the grimace, but honestly, in watching the movie, when they first showed Darren or the Darren face, my first thought was, couldn't they have just used the MODOK from the Hulu series?
That's what I was about to say. I
Yeah.
prefer that over what
Darren.
they did.
That's right.
You literally could have gave me the animated dude from your Hulu series that's a spoof. Like, you're telling me the comedic, actual funny version is better than what all your money in CGI could have done.
Well, and
I
they
will never
even
let this
did
down.
they even did an okay MODOK in the Avengers video game too. Like he
Thank
was
you.
fine. He was okay. I mean,
No.
I personally think MODOK is really annoying, but like
Yes.
they did pretty good in the game. Like the
Thank you.
story.
No, I had my phone out and I was shoving it in everybody's face that would look at it. I kept going up, even on my review and everything. I'm like, it was all really, I really enjoyed it, except MODOK. And I said, if you could have done this, and I
Mhm.
had the MODOK from
From the Avengers game.
Avengers game, and I'm like, it's not. it's not the general image from the comic books that people are used to, but this version of him, I think, would have fit way, way better in the MCU versus what they gave us.
Now, I'm not against them having used Darren. I think that having him in there was a nice callback to the first movie when they shrank him out of sight, or when Scott, broke his shrinking device and forced him into the quantum realm. So I thought that was a nice, callback and tie to that. But yeah, the CGI was just one of those.
Looks.
That's where we went with this.
And I've had some rebuttal back and forth, like, okay, we had MODOK be like this sub-villain.
Yes.
To be like, he is even more comic relief. He's kind of a dorky villain, so that Jonathan Mayers could make Kang just absolutely vicious.
But they didn't need. Sorry, let me rephrase that.
No.
Jonathan Majors did not need comedic relief. We wanted a brutal Kang. He gave that to us in spades. And it was also, you could juxtapose the Kang that we got in this movie with he who remains from Loki, where he had the slow play and he was just like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this. Here's why. And he was very calm and relaxed. Where this Kang was like, so this is going to happen right now, or she dies and everyone else dies too. I don't care. And seeing just the way that Majors played both of those Kangs, I'm looking forward to watching him play different iterations with different motivations and drives, because he's a great actor. I mean, he's a fantastic actor. But watching how, for the same character effectively, two versions of that character playing them so differently, so well, I'm in. You can just give me the Kang verse at this point, and I'm good.
And see, here's the interesting thing. I don't think we're going to get anything. I loved the end credit scenes with the last one, and I pointed out that we got to have something big with Reed Richards, because Multiverse of Madness, he was using the same exact tech that we saw all the Kings coming into that arena with. So, and then even Robert, you pointed out, wasn't that the same stuff that Dr.
Doom's time portal.
Dr. Doom used? It was his time machine as well. And so, again, this is a big foreshadow for the Fantastic Four. I'm going to keep tying into that. But
we've got 2 years, I believe, before that comes out, for them to slow play that one and kind of draw that out. But yeah, when Reed Richards popped in Multiverse of Madness, outside of everybody going, we finally get Reed Richards, a lot of people, that I know was like, did you see the time portal? I was like, yeah.
But that scene with all the Kings, like, literally pulled straight out of the comic book, like panel for panel. Only sad thing is, I doubt we get anything like the story from the actual Kang Dynasty comic run, because there's too much that hasn't been introduced. There's too much that has been introduced to interfere with that. Just
variations of it. It's a different timeline. So they can explain the variations off that way, and do what Marvel Studios has done reasonably well for the past 12 years, and adjust what they need to fit the overall arc of the movies.
Time just becomes messy, dude. When we start going down that wormhole for any franchise, which I'm not saying I dislike time travel. I love a lot of my main stories of different things. I love time travel. But this is a big one.
No, agreed.
And so I'm hoping some of their other projects distract us from that. Like I keep saying, I hope the Midnight Suns project does what Mandalorian has done for Star Wars. It's away from the Skywalker saga. You love it. It plays something else. But I'm hoping we get like Suns over here. And then again, this is it's a big mess. But it's hopefully they play it right.
Well, I think the next time that we'll really be able to get some answers or maybe some sort of direction where the MCU is going to go is Loki season 2, which comes out this summer. I was actually just looking. I'm like, I swear there was a release date, but it just says summer 2023 still.
Is there anything
Well, they've
releasing
also been-
before that?
They've also been moving things around this year
Guardians?
because
Guardians-
they were
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
besides Guardians, yeah. I don't know.
they were
if that'll-
talking about 2 or 3 of the Disney Plus series have been pushed back beyond their last known dates as well.
Hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes next, how it ties in, or they've had to push and how they'll play with that. Because even some of the last few movies have jumped around in time a bit compared to some of the TV series that came out in the past year. There's been a little bit of back and forth.
Right.
Oh, we're getting Secret Invasion before Loki?
Wait, what?
Really?
Secret Invasion's early 2023. Loki is mid 2023.
Wait, I thought Secret Invasion was a movie.
No, it's a
No,
series.
it's a
No,
series.
Disney
Oh, it
Plus
is?
series.
Yeah,
I keep getting them all mixed up, I'll be honest. Because
Secret-
it's
because
just
there's
been
a lot.
I mean, I love it, but it's still just like hard to keep track of it until we're like a couple months out, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, so before all that, so we're gonna get Guardians, and then What If, Secret Invasion, then Loki.
Really?
Yeah.
I wanted Loki sooner than that.
And then we've got the Marvels.
Yeah, that'll be
Ironheart,
November.
Echo.
And Ironheart is going to be a TV show.
Correct.
It is.
Okay,
Yep.
yes.
And then Echo, Agatha, and then
Isn't Daredevil Born
2020
Again supposed to come out next
2024.
year?
Next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be the first one that releases next year.
Is what? Oh, next
Daredevil.
year?
Yeah.
So sorry, backing up to the immediate. So we're pretty sure Secret Invasion is going to be the next one, but we haven't heard anything about it.
It's a
Yeah, we
secret.
have.
Duh.
They're
Think
just
they-
going to throw it on Disney Plus one day and be like, oh, by the way, go watch this. Ugh.
Yeah, we got a trailer for Secret Invasion already.
Hey, I need to, like, after we're done, I need to go watch it. I don't know if I've seen a trailer. Did I?
It's been out for
Oh,
a couple of months.
It exists. It's been up since September.
Was
More
that,
than a couple of months.
did they release it back with D23?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Okay,
believe so.
then I think I watched it. But I also probably watched a whole bunch around the same time and just got them all. But that's still
Okay,
exciting.
your nerd cred just took a little dent. It's
Okay,
fine.
Colin.
It's gonna be okay.
Okay. You know, there's
Just-
some people out there
just
who don't
messing with
even
you.
watch trailers. You guys
Yeah,
know
they,
those
they
people?
just don't have cred. It's okay.
It's so weird. I always find that so strange. Like, I don't know. It's just my opinion, I guess. But they don't want spoilers or something. And I'm like, no, I want hype.
I go straight to the trailer section of Disney Plus and just watch what's coming up next.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Every time.
Oh my goodness. Well, this movie, like, I feel like there's so many like good things to talk about with it, especially with how it's really setting up for future things with Marvel. And I think it gives us hope and it gives us hype. And I don't know, it makes me more excited to see what's coming. But I don't know. I think I still kind of have a hard time, and I think other people do too, with that it had to be on an Ant-Man movie, because I don't know. I just feel like there's still people who are just really like, no, this movie was not good, but it's setting up for like other stuff. And I'm not sure I like fall right on that still. Like, I still feel like this was an entertaining movie and like it was fine. It wasn't my most favorite Marvel movie. It's not really high up on my list, but again, I feel like it served its purpose.
It was the Eternals of Phase 5.
No, it was
No!
not. Robert, don't even go
Eternals-
there.
Eternals didn't do anything
If-
else.
if
It was
nothing
just there.
else-
It did plenty. It did
If
plenty.
nothing else, this film gave us our newest Avenger.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that's great.
You're so fired.
MODOK is
I
going to
like
be
I said, I was
the best
entertained.
Avenger.
I went into this movie to be entertained, and the movie did not let me down in that regard. Was it the best movie? The best Marvel movie I've seen? No. Was it the worst? No.
No.
It's middle of the road, but it did entertain me. So in that sense, fine. And I realize that there are some people who can't let their head canons go, and for them, this was worst movie ever. Okay, that's great. You didn't like it?
Speaking of headcanon, guys, this king is not dead. The one that got sucked into the
Do
engine,
you-
he's not dead.
Oh,
You
no.
don't think so?
Did you see a
don't-
body?
Ask
If you
Robert.
don't
He's
see a body, they ain't dead.
he
I
is
mean, it
coming
looks
back as the Beyonder.
The only
that
person
is
that's
how
dead in
we
the Marvel
get
universe
into
now
Secret
is
Wars.
Wanda.
Oh.
Even MODOK's
Wanda's not
still
dead either.
alive.
I
No,
will.
no.
That's a hill I
MODOK's
will
gonna
die
pop up.
on.
He's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm an Avenger, guys." Let me come
Wanda's
fight
dead.
the
We're going to
world
get the
with you.
838
Wanda's
Wanda.
not dead.
We're getting 838 Wanda to redeem her.
No,
No.
she's not
She's
dead.
not dead.
Plume of red smoke.
100%.
Well,
That's Mephisto
honest-
collecting that soul. I'm telling you
Well,
guys.
and that's the thing.
She disappeared. That's all there is to it.
But this
Well,
king
and
is
that's
not
the
dead.
thing
greatest
is with all the
sorceress of the
variants-
world is not gonna just
No.
die there.
The
No.
king that was sucked in is going to come back, and that is how the Avengers, the new Avengers, will defeat the King dynasty. But then it's
Hmm.
going to take a whole 180, and then he's going to take all of them, pull them into Secret Wars and into Battle World, which I've said that I think the world where Loki in season 1, that world, that everything that gets, dissolved by the TVA, that is Battle World.
Oh,
Hmm.
like the one in the final episode? Is that
Mhm.
is that the? Okay, yeah.
That is the plane where all the Avengers and all the villains and the people for the Battle World storyline sucked in right there.
Hmm. Well, and is anybody ever really dead now that we know that there's variants out there? Like that's the thing is like any of these actors, any of these characters could come back. Like I feel
No.
like there's
But this
yeah.
specific one is going to come back, and he's going to be the worst.
And what's his name again? Beyonder?
Yeah.
Are they going to do Secret Wars? One of the most recent Secret Wars.
Because here's the thing, guys. Scott went inside of that engine, right? And he was stuck in a probability storm, and it was something that they did not think he could possibly get past. But Cassie was the one who collectively yanked him out. Kang doesn't have. Well, okay, that's a lie. Kang has. Is it Ravina? Yeah, Ravina Renslayer. Am I saying their first name right? Ravina, or is it Rowena?
I think it's Rowena
Renslayer,
Yeah.
who is in Loki season 1, who helps that Kang that gets stuck in there. If you
Ravonna.
noticed, she disappeared. In Loki, she's like,
Ravonna.
Ravonna Renslayer. If you notice at the end of Loki season 1, she's like, I've got to go out there and find more answers or whatever. She's going to be the one that pulls him out, because right now he's stuck in a probability storm. Again, foreshadowing Kang, only myself left to conquer. He's fighting off multiple versions of himself in that probability storm, getting smarter, getting more godly, no, just messed up. His insanity is going to break to the point, and then she pulls him out. Boom, the Beyonder, who has way more abilities, who is way smarter, has way more capability.
Can
That's how we
actually
defeat
ants.
Yeah.
No.
So
No one can defeat the ants.
I'm still surprised that he wasn't able to melt those ants down.
dude, I think those ants were a cop out.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
100%.
You think so?
Like, we're screwed this entire movie, and then suddenly, I
Ants.
found my ants.
Army of super intelligent
And it was
ants.
just the cheesiest
Lived
thing as
1,000 lifetimes.
he's just got this huge grin on his face. Yeah. My ants.
It almost like it gave like Hank Pym his kind of like final, thing. Because for all we know, he's probably done in the movies. Like he's probably not doing anymore. We might not see Hank Pym again. So maybe that was kind of
I
their
don't think
way
so.
to be like, Here you go, Hank. You get your army of ants, and by the way, this is your last movie. Thanks.
We get to see him because we have to see the look on his face when Janet dies in the King Dynasty.
Do we care about that?
No, but they're gonna do it. It's gonna be another death off the checklist, you know.
I guess my saltiness.
That will be a forever death.
I feel
Yeah.
like the saltiness that I'm feeling though is because I don't know if Michelle Pfeiffer is like the best person for this role, especially because all the Botox, she looks younger than her daughter in the movie. She has less wrinkles.
It's amazing what the quantum realm does for your skin.
And the lips, like it was just I couldn't stop staring at her mouth anytime she was in the shot.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and it was always just like slightly parted.
I saw.
Wow.
Oh my gosh!
I had
saw
such a hard time.
Away from this guy King, he's bad.
I'm sorry, Michelle Pfeiffer. You are a fantastic actress, but I think you should retire.
I saw an amazing meme earlier.
Or just embrace your age.
She's gonna get lopped off in King Dynasty.
Oh, where is that meme?
Not that she shows that she has any powers anymore.
They wore off.
Oh, here it is.
She got better.
All right.
It's just a
I
flesh
gotta-
wound.
I gotta share this before we leave because I just
Okay.
thought it was hilarious when I saw it.
You see it. Hold on, I gotta make this bigger.
So
Oh
it
my
just
gosh.
goes with her when they first get on the planet and they're approaching like all these different aliens from the quantum realm. She just says, "I'll handle this," and goes up and hugs that initial alien. And then you have Wasp singing, "Do you think she banged him too?"
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I mean, look, Janet was lonely, or what was she? Didn't she give like an excuse or something?
Had needs.
I had
I was in here
needs.
for 30 years. I was in here for
Had
30
needs.
years.
And Bill
Neat.
Murray's the only one that could satisfy him.
Are you human? Only in the ways that matter.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! I feel like this is a good note to end on. Oh, you guys, I could just like listen to you guys talk about Marvel comics and theories and stuff like all day. But we'll save that for future episodes when we have other stuff coming out because we're not done. It's only February of 2023. Like we've still got all year. So you guys make sure you come back to Age of Geek and listen to our episodes. And we release them every Tuesday. So come and hang out. Thank you guys for joining me. Ty, thank you for being here. Make sure you guys check out his podcast, Multiplane, part of our little Age of Geek family. Yay. And
Ty, is it just for TikTok? Is it just Multiplane podcast?
Yep. And then also check out our Facebook, and I'll be putting up lists of comics that you can check out to get a little bit of the story if you want a little bit more of a deep dive. So yeah, check us out either TikTok or Facebook.
I love it.
You guys can join in the conversation at Discord or discord.ageofgeek.com. Let us know your thoughts on good old Ant-Man, and there's tons of geek channels. All geeks welcome, so
There's something for everyone.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks. Bye.
This has been an Age of Geek media production.